Hello and welcome to the Powering Through YouTube channel. I'm here today to talk to you about something that Scramble have kindly sent me. If you're aware, you've been following their website, they've recently just started stocking the RAD product, and Scramble were kind enough to send me some of the product to take a look at and give my opinion on. So those of you who know, self-manufactured release is a means of doing massage on yourself. And a big industry is strung up around these types of products. You'll see foam rollers in most gyms now. You'll see balls or cross balls being used, tennis balls being used, even golf balls being used, and various sticks, poles, massage devices of all kinds, all shapes and sizes. There's also a DIY market to it as well. There are people who will make their own self-manufactured release tools. I'll talk about those today. But the three main products here are the RAD roller products that Scramble sent me. What we've got here is the original RAD roller, just over here. People might instantly say, oh, that's a peanut. Yeah, it's the same shape as the peanut. And then here we've got the helix, which I'll discuss in a moment. And then finally, we've got the massage stick just here. And I mentioned before about how the DIY type component to some self-manufactured release tools. For instance, I've got here a homemade peanut. Okay, it's basically 2 tennis balls and some duct tape. And initially they work pretty well. Over time, especially if you're a heavier guy, these things compress pretty quickly. I'm just squeezing with my hand here. It's not hard to squeeze the air out of the product. And they compress pretty quickly. They come apart, and you know, the usefulness is pretty limited. If you want something long-lasting and a little bit more robust, what we've got is the original RAD roller here. It feels like 2 lacrosse balls attached to each other. It's pretty robust. I've been using it, and I tell you what, it's pretty hard, pretty unyielding. Great for hitting tight spots all over the place. I've told you a little bit. I'm not going to go into any exercises today. There are plenty of videos online you can check out for that type of thing. But the product itself is really well made, and it feels like it'll last a while. It doesn't compress hardly at all. It's a little bit spongy, but not particularly spongy. Now, the limit of this type of tool is that it can be really rough along the lower back, along the lumbar spine. So what RAD have given us is the helix, and as you can see, it's similar to what I did. So it provides 2 pressure points. But the idea is that it's made specifically to roll down the upper back with the spine sitting through this gap just here, erectors along each side just there. Some people have suggested using it for the lower lumbar. I've toyed with it a little bit. Generally, there's always a suggestion that you've got to be careful on the lower back with rollers. This is probably the most comfortable one I've ever used. For instance, you couldn't use this type of device along the lumbar spine. It would be potentially dangerous and very, very uncomfortable. And I really like this, especially for the upper back, for the bottom of the traps, and for the mid back. It's a great little tool. Contours, are there as well, and I really like this. And the other thing to mention is that all these devices have a manufacturer's guarantee. So if it breaks due to a manufacturing fault, they should hopefully be able to send you a new one. And then the last piece of kit is the massage stick. I've used a fair number of sticks in the past, and even used barbells for the same job. But basically, much like a rolling pin across a muscle, same principle in effect. Now, the thing with this is that the build quality feels really high. It feels really steady, and compared to other massage sticks, it's a lot thinner, meaning that the pressure you can apply is more specific to one point. I've used other sticks that are like segmented and somewhat flexible. I have broken 1 or 2 because bigger guys especially, very high muscle density, need a lot of pressure with this type of stick. This thing, I think there's a metal rod inside, so it's not going to bend or break anytime soon. Just doing it to myself, pretty uncomfortable and pretty good outcome after a little bit of release, particularly on my legs. And obviously the other thing you can do is you can get a partner to do the same thing to you as well, and that increases your ability to get into some of those tight spots. So again, really like these tools. Build quality is really high. They feel like they're going to last. So I might just have to do away with my trusty tennis ball and my peanut, and hopefully get a lot of use out of these things as soon as this arrived, a lot of the other coaches were looking and toying with these things. They were impressed by the build quality. Again, get in touch with Scramble, pick some of these products up for self-manufactured release. I've not seen a more robust and more useful tool. That's all I've got to say. Thank you.